Hi, today I'm going to show you how to solve problem 28 from the 2019 Math Kangaroo grades 5 to 6. Here's the problem. Every digit on my 24-hour digital clock is composed of at most 7 digital display parts as follows. So here we have the numbers 0 through 9. So this is 0 here. And then here's 1, and then 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we see the 7 parts here. There's 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts, 6 parts, 7 parts. And we see that only some of these parts are lit up for each number. For example, here we see these 6 are lit up, and then the one in the middle is black, showing that it's not lit up. It's not being used to show this. And then the problem says, but unfortunately for every digit displayed, the same 2 digital parts are not working. At this moment, this is what my clock shows. What will it show in 3 hours and 45 minutes? So we don't know how to add 3 hours and 45 minutes to this. But what we can do is add 3 hours and 45 minutes to a time made out of these numbers where we know what the numbers are. So if we can figure out somehow what the actual time here is, we can add 3 hours and 45 minutes to that. And then if we know which parts aren't working, we'll know which parts we'll have to make black or to show that they're not working after that. So to figure out the actual time, we also need to figure out which parts aren't working, because that'll help us be able to figure out which parts we can add to show the actual time. So to figure out which parts aren't working, we can look at all the 7 parts and see which ones we know can work, can be lit up. So if we look here, we see that the clock is showing these 3 parts. So that's proof that those are not the 2 parts that aren't working, because we can see that they can be lit up, and they currently are. So we know that these 3 have to be light. If we look at the next one, we see this one is also that way. And if we look at this one, we find this one also. And the last one gives us this one and this one, so nothing new. There's only 2 parts here that are still black or are not being lit up. We have no evidence that they can be lit up. And we know the 2 parts aren't working, and so these have to be the 2 parts. There's nothing else those 2 parts could be. So now we have these 4 numbers, and we know we could add something to them. And we could either add something here, or in both, or in neither. And the reason we can add is because in the places that aren't lit up, we don't know if they're not lit up here because they're not supposed to be, or because they're not working. And so we can just try to construct a number by adding some subset of the parts that potentially could be supposed to be lit up and are just not because they're not working. So for this one, we have 4 options. And the 4 options would look something like, so we know these 3 are going to be there in all 4 options. And then we also know these 2 are going to be black because they're black and there's no way they're not ones that could be not working, is the reason. So these 2 are black in all of them. And then we have the one where it's just like here, where we're not going to add an extra part. So that would look like this. Or we could have it be black here and then have a light here, actually supposed to be there. Or there could be an extra light here and back here, or there could be light in both places. So this is what the 4 different options we have look like. And if we compare these to the numbers up there, we see that only this one is found there. This is a 2, it's right over there. The other 3, they have some parts here that are detached, and we don't see any numbers like that there. So we can fix this number. It's a 2, we see that there, and then that's the number. And then we can continue to do this for the other 4 numbers. So for those numbers, again, here we know that these 3, or these 4, sorry, are always going to be lit up because they're lit up over there. So, a possibility. And then these 2 are the ones we could add. So we have the possibility of adding both of them. We could add just this one, and we could add just this one, or we could add none. And then the rest here would be black. So again, we can compare these 4 numbers to these, and we see that this one and this one have some parts that are detached. This one doesn't, but we can't see it there. And then this one is the 3, it's right over there. And so it's the only one out of the 3 that's a number, and so that must be the number this is representing. So that's a 3. And then we can do the same thing again for the last 2 numbers. So here, all 4 options are going to have something like this. And then we can choose to either fill it in both places, just at the bottom, just at the top, or in none. And the rest would be black, as usual. So if we compare these 4 numbers, we find this is the 4, it's right over there. None of the other ones can be found up there. So this must be the next number. So we can fill that in as the 4. And now there's only one more number, and we can figure out what number that is by doing the same thing. It's going to have one at the top, one here. Okay, and then we can either have both these 2, just this one, or none. And fill in the rest with black. And again, comparing these with those, this is the only one that's a number. It's the 7 over there. And so now we have the time, and the time is 23:47. We've filled in the numbers, and that's the time. And so now what we need to do is add 3 hours and 45 minutes to the time 23:47. So 3 hours after 23:47, it will be 2:47, and then 45 minutes after that, it will be 3:32. And so after 3 hours 45 minutes, we'll have probably we'll have 03, 0, 3, 32. So we have this, and it seems like, great, we're done, but we're not, because we want to know what my clock is going to show. And my clock isn't going to show this because my clock still has these parts not working. So wherever we see these parts lit up, even though they're supposed to be lit up, they're not going to be on my clock. So we'll have to remove them. So here we see both of these are going to be black. Here, this one's already black, but this one still has to be black. And then here, this one again, same thing. And then here, both of these are lit up and they both have to become black. And then this is what my clock will show in 3 hours, 45 minutes. Thank you.